No.
1980, he was murdered outside his New York apartment. Barry reviews the revolution not only of rock and roll, but of Western culture caused by this great artist.
Do you remember the impact when we all heard that music for the first time? I was still in school, but I remember that with that one single, the history of pop music was divided into a BL and AL period, before Lennon and after Lennon. Before, there were only two kinds of music, Frank Sinatra and his clones like Vic Damone and Tony Bennett, and Elvis Presley and his clones. But with the Beatles changed all that by inventing the group, by creating a sound and a kind of lyric that shaped the imagination of the 60s generation. And of course, they are the only ones we still remember from that time. And Lennon is the single figure who stands out. Who remembers Herman Noonan of Herman's Hermits or Dave Clark of the Dave Clark Five? The only one who comes close is Mick Jagger, and his fame is more personal than professional. The Beatles always managed to stay just one step ahead. When everyone else was copying their sound, they were doing Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. When people latched onto that idea of the quasi-poetic concept album, they were into something new. Until the same thing happened to John Lennon that happened to Adam. He met a woman, and not just any woman. He met Yoko Ono, who inspired this song.
Hardly express my mixed emotions at my thoughtlessness. After all, I'm forever in your debt.
In their last film together, Let It Be, one saw Yoko sitting still and passive in their studio, a rival centre of attraction for John, and many harsh words have been written about her, accusing her of turning Lennon into a recluse and of diverting the flow of his talent into a tributary of triviality. But the people who say that have never listened to those songs properly. It was in the songs he wrote while he was with her that he reached his full potential as a sort of pop prophet, the man who could articulate the dreams and yearnings of an entire generation. A song like Imagine is a typical example when he says, "You may call me a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us and the world will live as one." It was the kind of dream that President Kennedy and Martin Luther King were dreaming, a dream which an increasingly cynical world hardly thought possible anymore, and Lennon kept it alive.
Everybody's talking, no one says a word. Everybody's making love, no one really cares. There's matches in the bathroom, just below the stairs. Always something happening, nothing going on. There's always something cooking.
One of the reasons why he kept it alive was that instead of doing the doomed drug route of an Elvis, a Janis Joplin, or a Janis Joplin, of course, and Jimi Hendrix, he went back to the fundamental human experiences like marriage and raising a family. Some of his best work from this period featured Yoko and his son, Sean.
Nobody told me there'd be days like these. Nobody told me there'd be days like these. Strange days indeed. Strange days indeed.
When he was assassinated 4 years ago tomorrow, his death provoked the same shock as did the deaths of Kennedy and King. And perhaps he was a victim of the same intolerant world, a man whose dreams are so strong that they make the rest of the world feel insignificant. But the wonderful thing is that dreams don't die, only people do. And Lennon lives on in his music, in his influence on Yoko Ono and on his other son, Julian, in whose tribute to his father, the dreamer, dreams on.
Thanks, Barry.